I'm not going to lie, but I've got a perfect strategy on how to win football betting. And all these are very visible in my recent wins. On your screen is my recent bet. That includes about 24 teams with odd of 5,000 plus. Now what you see below is a cash out given to me, and if you can clearly see the wager amount, I've staked this bet for just 2 Ghana cedis. And if you live in Ghana, you will know the value of 7,000 Ghana cedis. That has been the cash out given to me from a bet I placed just 2 cedis. So even though football betting is risky, I'm all in to providing you with different methods of making money online, and football betting has been one of them for me. So if you want to make thousands of dollars on the internet through football betting, you are in the right place. Welcome, but remember, betting is addictive and you need to gamble responsibly. It is for 18 years and above. So what we are going to be doing is I'm going to be walking you through my selection process. The betting platform you decide to use will be entirely your choice. I go in for Betway because their odds are always bigger. Now my selections are all centered on the major leagues. That is the English Premier League, Italian Serie A, French Ligue 1, German Bundesliga, and then the Spanish La Liga. Now there are several other leagues that are very good also, but these major leagues are where I get my perfect selection from. The Portugal Primeira Liga is also good. Netherlands and Scotland are also good for nice predictions. Now before we move on to the dashboard and then I'll walk you through the selection process together, I'm going to be sharing with you reasons why my odds are always bigger. Now I have seen a lot of people and how they place their bet. Some have said that the best selection they desire would be a straight win. So anything below straight win, they will not go for it. Now this is a very lazy way of making selections. Reasons being that not all teams can be able to win. Some leagues are always known for scoring goals. While some leagues, it is possible that both teams can be able to score. Don't expect the bigger teams to always win each and every day. So with this in mind, let's get straight onto the betting platform of your choice and then begin a selection process for this coming weekend. So this is basically how the Betway dashboard looks like. Now I've had my account logged in, so if you are yet to start, what you need to do is to create your perfect betting platform. So what I do is I follow these top 5 leagues available right here. So we have the Premier League, the Bundesliga, which is from Germany, we have the La Liga, the Serie A, and then France Ligue 1. So immediately I'm going to be starting with the Premier League, and we are going to be doing this for the weekend coming up. So basically these are the matches available for the weekend in the English Premier League. We have Leicester meeting Nottingham Forest, which is happening on Friday, and then Brentford meeting Ipswich. We have Aston Villa welcoming Bournemouth, and then Brighton versus Wolves. Manchester City is at home welcoming Southampton, and then we have Everton and Fulham meeting. Crystal Palace versus Tottenham, and Chelsea versus Newcastle. Now some are getting into Sunday, but what we are going to be doing is I'm going to be placing the bet strictly from Saturday, and that is going to be from Brentford. So what you need to do about each and every league which I've talked about is not all leagues will favor the kind of odd that you need. Now one thing about the Premier League is that there's a likelihood that goals will be able to come at the end of each match. So what you need to do is to scroll all the way down to find what you find over 1.5. Now one thing I've mentioned is that I would not go for any odd that is below 1.3. It is just something I'll not settle for. I'll be super ashamed of myself if my bet is spoiled by a team that is giving below 1.3 odds. Now I know that some of you will feel like the possibility of the bet playing if the odds are small is high. I do not believe in that. In bet, you need to take the risk in order to win. That is where my odds are super big. So I'm going for favorite, or I'm going to the search bar and then looking for double chance. Now I know that Brentford has been performing so well this season compared to Ipswich. Now to find a perfect team that is performing better than the other, I would advise you to go onto another website. I mostly go for Footmob. So right here we are looking for Brentford, and when I click on it, the stats are going to show the head-to-head of Brentford and Ipswich. Now currently if you go to the head-to-head, we've seen that Brentford has been able to win 4 times against Ipswich. Basically already Brentford has got an upper hand. On the table we have Brentford lying on 13th while Ipswich is lying somewhere around 17th. They are both not performing so well, but I believe that Brentford being at home has an upper hand. So I'm going to be giving a double chance to Brentford and also expecting 2 goals in the match. So that being said, we are moving forward to the next team, and that is Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. To have that searched on FootMob, I'm going to the head-to-head, and currently there's no doubt that Aston Villa has been performing so well. They've got Martinez in goal for them, and he's been doing so well. Currently, they both won 4 each and then have drawn 1 game. Their recent match resulted in 3-1 against Bournemouth. And then on the table, we have Aston Villa on the 4th place on the table, while Bournemouth is located around 11th on the table. So going back onto the betting platform, what we need to do is, I'm still going for a double chance for Aston Villa, even though they can win this match if they want to. But to be on the safer side, I'm going for a double chance for them, and then I'm making sure that there are 2 goals out of this match, which is double chance for Aston Villa and over 1.5. Now we have selected 2 matches so far. Moving on, we are going for Brighton and Wolves, and then we are going on to the head-to-head. Brighton has been having a very poor form this season compared to what they did last season. There are some teams that they always show their best in a season, and then the next season they begin to flop. And Brighton has shown to be one of those teams. So what we need to do is to check their head-to-head once again, and know that this season Wolves has been performing so well, and Brighton as well has also been trying their best. What I've understood is that their top scorers have got 5 and 3 goals each. Brighton have won 9 matches, while Wolves have won just 4 with 9 draw. Brighton has always dominated. So what we need to do is to look at the table again and see who has been performing. Now these stats do not measure the entire result of the match, but it goes a long way to see which of the team that is performing so well. And as you can see, Wolves is hanging somewhere around the bottom of the table, while Brighton is located on the 5th of the table. So Brighton has got an upper hand, and if I go on to popular decision making on the platform, I would likely want Brighton to win this match for sure. So moving on to the next team, we have Manchester City. Now Manchester City is welcoming Southampton. Manchester City has always been in a very good form, but recently the goals are not coming as expected, and therefore what we need to do is that we are going to be looking at a win. But like I've stated, I do not settle for odds that are not over 1.3. A reason being that if your bet is able to get lost, and these are the odds responsible for your bet getting lost, I've always not been happy with myself, as I believe that bigger odds can actually be able to play. So I'm going for this option that is winner, and then I'm going for a winner, and then I'm making sure that they have a very good goal at the end of the match. So I'm scrolling down and see that if they can win, and I'm also expecting over 2.5, meaning I'm expecting 3 goals from this particular match. However, I need to look at their form and see how defensive Southampton can get this season. Now Haaland being the main striker for Manchester City with 10 goals, while we have Archer having 2 goals for just Southampton. So moving on, I'm going for a win for Manchester City, but I'm also expecting about over 2.5 goals in this particular match. Now I know that a win and over 2.5 is quite a risky odd to take, but I believe that Manchester City can be able to score. That being said, I do not expect you to force yourself to select a particular team if you think that the odds do not favor you well enough. So this particular odds that I've taken, I will be leaving the code of this particular bet in the description. You can decide to take it out if I want. But for me, I like risk a lot, and that is one of the risks that I'm able to take in bet, and it has been working for me perfectly. We are going for Everton and Fulham. Now Everton and Fulham, these are some kind of teams that you cannot predict in the Premier League. Anything can happen, and to be on the safer side, just like I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, goals can be able to come out in any Premier League fixture. So I would want you to go for over 1.5 goals in this particular match. So with the Premier League, that's been it for Saturday matches. Now for my bet, I do not go for what we call long bet. I go for a bet that I can be able to see the result at the end of the day. So we are moving to the next league on our betting playlist, and we are going for the Bundesliga in Germany. Now one thing about this particular league is certain teams or all teams can be able to score each other. So at the end of the match in Germany, you can be able to see both teams having scored. Now it is a coincidence that this thing has been able to happen over and over again. So on Saturday we have Augsburg welcoming Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund has been informed in terms of scoring, and for that matter I think that they have the upper hand in this particular match. However, we are going to be checking their head-to-head and see which team has been able to perform so well. I know that both teams can be able to score, but I wish that I can be able to favor the odds on behalf of Borussia Dortmund. I know that Borussia Dortmund is going away, and for that matter, I would not want to give them a win. Borussia Dortmund at some point can disappoint when it comes to placing odds on them. And I'm going for a double chance for Borussia Dortmund, as they have got a very big odd right here, and I'm also making sure that I have about 2 goals in the match. Their win or draw is somewhere around 130, which is perfect. You can go for this without necessarily going for 2 goals in addition, but I'm going to be having that selected because I prefer bigger odds in order to boost my odds. So the next selection we have Leipzig versus Freiburg. If you give them 2 goals this season, they've not been able to score. But that being said, I'm going to risk that and then give them 2 goals and double chance for Leipzig as well. Now a double chance alone for Leipzig would be able to be good. However, the odd is 122. So I'm going for Leipzig win or draw, and sitting at home, that would be perfect odd with 2 goals in addition. The 2 goals can either be 1-1 or 2-0 from Leipzig. Leipzig should not be able to lose the match. That is what the odd just means. We are moving to Stuttgart versus Holstein. Now Stuttgart has been doing so well this season and the previous season as well. Easy for Stuttgart to have an upper hand. But then again, the odds are too small for Stuttgart for us to risk. That is what I look at. So what I'm going to be believing in for these 2 teams to perform is both teams to score. Now I know this will be quite risky to take looking at how big the odd is, but with Germany it can happen. So moving on, we have South Pauli and Wolfsburg. The odds are favoring South Pauli in some extent, and then we have 270 for Wolfsburg. I'm going to be betting for both teams to score, which, like I said, with the Bundesliga, it is very possible. Now we have Bayer Leverkusen playing against Werder Bremen. Bayer Leverkusen has been having a very good form this season and last season as well. Winning the Bundesliga last season was quite impressive. Now, Bayer Leverkusen has been quite disappointing all this season. Their form has gradually been declining. For that matter, I would not expect them to win this match hands down. However, I will give them double chance and also expecting about 2 goals in total from the match or more. So that's been it for the Bundesliga. We are moving to the 3rd major league in our betting strategy, and that is La Liga in Spain. Now, do not necessarily select any odd or match because you need to select it. Some matches, there are no way you can be able to predict the outcome. So it is perfect to leave out any match that you think you will not be able to select a perfect odd from that particular match. We have Real Valladolid versus Villarreal. Villarreal has been very defensive this season. A lot of draws have been coming out of their game. So what I would need you to do, with Villarreal having a very good money given to them, I'm going for win or draw for Villarreal. Moving on, we have Alaves versus Rayo Vallecano. Now there's something about La Liga. It is actually difficult for teams to score goals in La Liga. Aside the major teams Barcelona and Real Madrid, most teams find it very difficult to score. But I will not be expecting a draw in this match. I'm expecting one team to win. So I'll be going for a double chance between Rayo Vallecano and Alaves. So moving on, we have Las Palmas and Girona. Girona has performed so well last season. It was expected that they were going to win the title, but somehow they fell off. What I'm expecting is that I want 2 goals from this particular match. That is over 1.5. Now we have Real Madrid and Barcelona. This is a very tough match coming up this weekend. But one thing that can be rest assured is these 2 teams are performing quite incredibly this season. For that matter, you cannot predict who can win this match. But we are expecting both teams to score. So I'm going straight for both teams to score in this particular El Clasico. We are moving to the next big league that we are going to be placing our bet from. And that is going to be Italian Serie A. So the first match from the Italian Serie A on Saturday is Napoli against Lecce. Napoli has been winning recently, but they've been struggling to win. So I'm going to be risking it and asking Napoli to win this particular match for me, which the odds are 130. Moving on, we have Atalanta and Hellas Verona. So I will be going for a win for Atalanta. Moving on to the final big league, we are going to the French Ligue 1. Now, with the French Ligue 1, most teams are able to score over 1.5, and sometimes both teams do score as well. You cannot be able to predict when it comes to the French Ligue 1. However, they are likely to score, and the monies that come with their scoring is quite good. We have 133 right here for Angers versus Saint Etienne. So we are moving on to the next fixture. I'm just looking for about just 20 teams in total. We are moving to Reims and then Brest, which again I'm going for 1.5, but I've seen that the money is not up to 130, therefore I would not risk it. It is a principle I've taken that I'm not going for any money below 130. So I'm going for a win-win for any of the teams. We are moving on to the next fixture, and that is Lens versus Lille. What I'm expecting from this particular fixture is both teams should be able to score in this fixture. However, we have 1.5 goal being 130, which is enough. So even though both teams to score should be a goal of 2, we have 1.5 also being a goal of 2, which can come from any of them. So I'm going for that to be on the safer side. So as you can clearly see, I have got just 19 selections so far, and I need 20 for some reason, which I'm going to be explaining quite soon. So I'm moving back, and then I'm going to the English Championship, where there are teams that score so good in that particular fixture as well. I'm going for just one team that is having above or 130 and above odd, and I'm going to be picking that. So I'm going for Burnley and then QPR, which is having an odd of 133, and in total I've got 20 selections, which I'm going to be placing so good. So this is basically how my selections are made, and in total I have got an odd of 1186 odd. So I'll make a deposit and then place this particular bet. By clicking onto the deposit option, you are going to be selecting the method of making the deposit, which for me is MTN mobile money. I will be selecting 10 cedis and then click on to deposit now. So I'll click on to finish if the deposit has been successful. I'm going to be entering my amount, and then this will be my total win. Click on to bet now. So thank you for your time. If you have learned a thing or two, go ahead and subscribe. However, I'm going to be leaving all the code below if you want to stake the same bet. You can edit it if you want, that is entirely your choice. Now, even though my selections are longer, what I do is that after making these long selections, I will be able to divide into 4 or 2 parts and then have each of the bait staked. So with that, I will be able to gain something at the end of the day. And a good news is that if you've been part of this channel, on a weekly basis, I'm going to be dropping code on the community tab for you to stake. So this has been a perfect strategy on how you can be able to win on football betting. But remember, football betting is a form of gambling which is risky, and you do not need to invest any amount. You will be pained when you lose. Thank you so much for your time, and I will be able to see you again in the next video. Please have a great day.